bad mistake. Very, very bad mistake tonight.
Oh, travel days.
RV life rough.
Yes, it's very rough.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Well, that was fun times.
That was fun. So we had another slide issue, but this time it was a little bit worse because this time the slide would not come in.
This is actually the oldest city park in the United States. So this place is absolutely amazing. You know, I had no idea when I booked it online that it was gonna be like this, but we're right here on the water. And the lighthouse that's over there, did you see that?
Like right there.
It's so cool. Like I was looking out the dinette window as we were eating lunch, and it's like I'm watching the sailboats come in and out on the water. It's just amazing, amazing campground. So this is gonna be a fun 4 days here. Public transportation again because it's been so great this whole trip, and so this time it's an actual train, and so we just found out from one of the employees kind of where we need to be, which train we need to go on. It's the one thing that's so great, I think, between Google Maps, Apple Maps, and then just asking questions of like the actual transportation employees. You can pretty much figure out where that you need to go as far as what train you need to be on, or like if you're on the subway, if that particular train car is going where you want to. So just ask questions. That's what we've done anyway.
So we learned a little tip today, didn't we?
We did. So with the Boston subway system, the kids get to come essentially for free with the adult. So that saved us on the fare as far as like the fare amount that we needed to purchase. But one thing I think that we learned unfortunately our very last day in New York is that if you have any questions, like ask one of the attendants, because they know way more about what the options are and even like where you need to go and stuff like that. I've never been to Italy, but like the narrow streets, like one car going through the like restaurants that have like extra dining like on the street literally, like it makes me feel like that's maybe what it's like. I don't know, you'll have to let me know in the comments if you've been to Italy, if this feels kind of like Italy. We're gonna go get some bread.
Some famous
Italian
bread? All right.
Oh my gosh. This is gonna be amazing.
Yes. All right. How is it?
So good. Oh my gosh. Now I know why there was a line out the door. It reminds me of when I was in college and I used to get St. Tropez at the La Madeleine in Dallas. So good. This has totally been one of the most fun nights. Totally like not planned, no clue where we're gonna go. Just headed down here really on the recommendation of one of the subway employees. And we caught some Little League baseball and went through the Italian section of town. This is just so much fun. Totally like stumbled upon fun. So one of the things I love about this lifestyle, you just never know what's going to happen. You don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know necessarily how things are gonna always pan out. Okay, so we got locked out. We made a bad mistake, very, very bad mistake tonight. And that is,
I have no cakey.
they told me when we checked in that there was a gate at the campground that would close at 10 o'clock. And if we were gonna come back after 10 o'clock, that we would need a gate key. And so I'm like, no worries, I'm sure that we won't be out past 10 o'clock. Well, yeah, we're out past 10 o'clock. And there's no way to get into the campground. So we had to park like half a mile. Sorry, I'm looking down, I'm trying to see where I'm going. So to park half a mile from the campground to find parking that's not just on the side of the road, parking illegally. Now we're walking back to the campground so we can get back in our RV. So word to the wise, they tell you that there's a gate and you don't think you're gonna be out, just double check, you know, I mean, get the gate key, because that's what we should have done. So now we gotta walk half a mile in the dark. At least it's a nice night outside of Boston, here in Salem. So welcome to Boston Common. This is actually the oldest city park in the United States. It dates back to the 1600s. So what we're gonna attempt to do is we're gonna attempt to find something called the Freedom Trail. So what the Freedom Trail is it's marked off in like red. It's about 2.5 miles long. And it kind of just takes you on a historical walk through different points of history in Boston. So we found it. So this is the brick road. So people have started calling it the yellow brick road. It's not yellow, it's red. So we're gonna see how far we can go. It's just luck that we'll make it to the end. Okay, so it's 9 o'clock now. We're still on the Freedom Trail, but the kids are at a tipping point. So we're gonna have to just call it a night, and then we may be able to come pick this up tomorrow, we might not, but we know that if we come back to Boston, which we probably will at some point, because this has been another one of those fun cities, that this is something that we want to do. And then some tips for you if you decide that you want to come do this in the Boston area. Get maybe a little bit of an earlier start. If you can avoid the weekends. It does take you through some very busy areas where there's lots of restaurants and stuff. It's a Saturday night here for us, and it's been quite the journey just kind of navigating through some of the crowds because of the restaurants and things that are in some of these areas. Well, I'm gonna put on the Massachusetts sticker because I want to. And we're in Massachusetts, but today's our last day in Massachusetts, and so we're headed into Maine today, and then after we get to Maine, because we'll have gone through New Hampshire, we'll have 2 more states knocked off this particular 40-day journey, and we'll only have 1 more state that we won't have like been in before. And we'll have all of the lower 48 covered except for Arkansas. So you guys have to let us know in the comments. A lot of you have been letting us know like where in Arkansas to go and stuff. So keep those coming because Arkansas is gonna have to get knocked out at some point. But put this on and get packed up and ready to go. But you know what? We should show everybody around this campground first.
Yeah.
Because there's pros and cons.
Yep.
Let's just say there's pros and cons. So let's go outside and we'll talk about the pros and cons of where we've been staying. In the last 5 years of living RV life, we've used a couple of different options for a grill. Now, we started off with a portable Coleman grill that felt pretty cheap and just wasn't the most compact when it came to storing it away. Then, of course, when the Blackstone griddle became all the rage, we decided to go with one of those too. The only thing is, it's pretty large, it's heavy and cumbersome to haul around. So we decided to ditch that too and just cook inside. Well, the only problem with that is we'd be out for an evening stroll at the campground and the smells of other campers grilling would be filling the air, and it just made Ben really, really sad. So we wanted the option for grilling, but didn't want to have to haul around something heavy. Then there was something else. We love camping at national forests and state park campgrounds, and it's always fun to have a fire and cook some burgers or hot dogs.
But have you ever noticed that the grates that they put over most of these fire pits mean that either your burgers are going to become flame charred or not get enough heat because the grate height isn't adjustable to move food farther away from or closer to the fire. This is where we're super excited when we learned about the OT folding and packable grill. Now this folding grill packs up in a super compact bag and stores away in the RV easily, and it sets up in minutes. You can use either charcoal or wood to cook out and have that juicy burger, brat, hot dogs, and much more. It comes with a fire-safe mat to use on a tabletop and has been the perfect solution to our grill dilemma. As a side note, when we use our OT with charcoal or wood, we don't even have to use lighter fluid, but we use our all-natural fire starters instead. And with the OT grill, you can adjust the cooktop height to just the perfect height to get the perfect burger or hot dog that's not, well, you know, like charcoal. Right now, you can save 10% on the OT grill. We'll have that below, as well as a link that you can visit to get an OT for yourself.
So where we've been staying, where we've been in Massachusetts, is just outside of the Boston area. Now, technically, the town name is Salem, but where we are is in an area called Winter Island. So this is kind of like a little piece of land that sticks out into the water area. It is a state park. So pros and cons of this particular campground is it's reasonable for fees. You use Reserve America to reserve it because it's part of the state park system. It was $45 a night and it's partial hookup. So we had water and electric. Now, cons. There's no dump station on site. We were actually going to have to drive off site to dump. Thankfully, we learned a little tip. So here's a tip if you're boondocking or if you have partial hookups, especially with a family, is that the water pressure here was actually fairly poor. And so usually when we put on our water pressure regulator, we dial it to the water pressure that we want. Well, the water pressure here was fairly low already, which this was just an accidental thing we figured out. That actually helped with our gray tank space because not having that higher water pressure meant lower water volume coming out of the sinks when we went to wash hands, do dishes, things of that nature. And so typically for a 4-night stay like we've been here, we would have already filled up our gray tank by now and needed to go dump. But we have not because we've been using less water, not having as much water pressure. It's a beautiful view. You can watch the boats. There's lots of sailboats that are always going in and out during the day. You can go sit down. There's benches over by, there's a lighthouse. The tide is really high coming in and out. And so there's lots of tide pools to be explored, lots of oysters to be seen, lots of beautiful nature to be able to walk around and even just spend the day here at the state park. So that's definitely a pro to staying here. We'll put a link in the description below for this particular park if you're interested. The other thing is that it's really easy to get in and out of Boston. So 2 miles from here is a commuter train, and we took that to Boston and then back. And that was a really fun experience, very inexpensive. It was $16 for all 4 of us to ride the train down into Boston and then back up to Salem. So we drove our Jeep over there, but it's 2 miles, easily bikeable if you have a bicycle. The cabs also in Salem, it's flat $6 wherever you want to go. So if you come here, you don't have a tow vehicle, you can just catch a cab for $6 anywhere in Salem that you want to go.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Well, that was fun times.
That was fun. So we had another slide issue, but this time it was a little bit worse because this time the slide would not come in. So we had to go let the office know that we're gonna be a little bit, and so we got to learn how to manually bring our slides in.
Always learning something.
Yep, and it's actually not that hard. It's not as intimidating as it was initially.
So where are we right now?
We are at it's called the Essex Waste Disposal Center, and that's near the state park where they have you dump. They gave us a voucher to get a free dump, and so we're gonna go dump.
You're gonna take your free dump.
Yep.
Let's go take our free dump.
Free dump.
The future is golden. Step into the moment. Yeah,
Making the kids Bertolli because you know how they are with eating what the rest of us eat. But I'm super excited because
You're gonna give me bacon?
in years past, if we had been at a campground like this, like right now, none of our internets are working. It's Starlink is.
Starlink is.
So I'm super excited about.
And I just did a speed test here. 35 megs down and 5 up.
There you go.
So
That's enough to keep us going anyway.
yeah.
So.
And without it, I mean, we would have been kind of hurting for
Oh my gosh.
internet
Been
speeds.
totally
Like,
Well, and speaking of hurting, so the bedroom slide is officially broken as far as the
about that.
power port. So I was able to order the parts that I think that we need because we're in Bar Harbor, which is so remote. There's no way that they would get here before we leave. So they'll be waiting for us in Vermont after we're done here. But tomorrow's Acadia.
Woohoo!
I'm excited about that. It's
I'm
supposed
super
to be an
excited.
amazing national park. We've never been, but we have to get up early because our timed entry, they're on timed entry right now, is between 7 and 7:30 in the morning. And then lobster.
Oh yeah. And we found a
For
couple
me.
places that were the parking lot was packed, and that's a
We
good
did,
thing.
but the ladies up at the front desk, gave you some names of some different places
Yeah.
that the locals go.
So there's 2 different ones we need to scope out, and we'll let you know which one's better.
You think we're gonna go twice?
Yes.
That could get pricey.
What do you think, Alaska?
Sure. Just bring me back some bacon.
We'll go where the locals go because we've learned. Ask a local. They know the best spots. All right,
All
let's
right.
eat. I'm hungry.
What'd you make us?
This is chicken. This is mine. Yours is over there.
Chicken,
Chicken
and broccoli.
Have some apples over here.
All right.
Put these over here.
Okay.
Kids are at the park, which is like literally
Right there?
within. Yeah, I can see them out the window,
So
so
we can
that's
enjoy
nice.
dinner by ourselves here and some quietness and
Cheers.
cheers.
Really?
She's a little bit worried about the travel day. Definitely feeling a little bit unrest. Just trying to calm her down. What's your favorite part of this city?
Right here. E-Town, baby. This is local right here. This is live right now on YouTube. Holla at your boy.
All right.
So we walked back to this little place that we found our first night here because it was so good, and it's not far off of the Freedom Trail. So while it's not on the Freedom Trail, we did want to take a little detour because we had to come back to this place. It was so amazing. So we're gonna go get our pastries. I'm just gonna take them with us so that we can keep walking on the Freedom Trail because it's starting to get a little bit late. It's 8 o'clock. And I have no clue how much longer we have left on the trail. But so far, it's been very clearly marked, very easy to find. So we'll hope that it continues to be that and we can make it there before, I don't know, it's too dark. I mean, I think it'll be fine even after dark, but you know, just before that.
See, they've been doing it the whole time.
Baby, ba, ba, ba. Oh, were you rolling? Always coffee first. Having to use the shower house because we don't have full hookups. But wow. So loud.
Hey.
So loud.
The future is gold. The future is gold.
I can't even see where I'm going with this. Wait, can we use I'm gonna have to walk. Put on our water pressure regularly. I can't talk. Regular.
Regular.
There they go, sinking irretrievably into the harbor, never to be seen again.